we were young at the time. I think most of us were between the ages of 20, 23, 20, 23, 24. So we were crazy. We had fun, bro. Like, the streets of Joburg know us. It was fun. They know us very well. They know us very well. You. Bram knows us, Marvel knows us, and those are things that live on forever, and I'm very proud of her. Yeah, hey, yeah, wait, fuck, that beautiful. Hey, it's beautiful, yeah, it's beautiful. No, she's very, she's not stuff.
Big time,
she's stunning, bro. They were looking for Rachel's brother, and according to the storyline, Rachel's brother is from Tembisa. So that part I could resonate with, being someone who's on Tembisa. But everything else was just lights out. You know what I mean?
He's a radio presenter and TV presenter. Today it's an honor to be joined by Abuti Buhle Maseko. Okay.
Sure. Thank you so much for having me.
It's an honor for to come here. I was always like wondering why Ule Buhle. I think Buhle ke lena la banyane.
It's a unisex name. I think the one that's more for ladies get no Buhle. Yeah, no Buhle. But apparently in KZN it's pronounced Buhle. If you want to pronounce my name in KZN, I don't know what it's Buhle, but it's a unisex name.
How has life been lately? After COVID, things have changed.
Taking me straight there. Hey man, things have been. I think everyone has had to adjust to the new normal. And I would say more industry arena already. We're in an industry that's very volatile. So now you add COVID onto that, and it just So I think I've went through some challenges, but it's also taught me a lot about myself. I understand. It's also taught me to move around differently, which I think is important. So things haven't been easy. I don't think they've been easy for anyone, and more especially in our industry, because more industry arena it was like complete shutdown. We couldn't shoot because when we shoot we interact with each other like this. So it's not like you can shoot over Teams. Over Teams and say, let's do this scene. So it's been tough, but it's also been a life learning what can I say, period in my life. I've had to come up with other ways of living, of making money. I've had to come up with other ways of trying to place myself in the industry. So there's a lot of education that has happened in that period.
I know what at times, if I don't know, they call it a permanent contract. If you have a permanent contract and crisis like those one COVID comes, you are getting paid. You didn't have such kind of contract.
That's called a global contract. Global contract. So yeah, at the time before COVID happened, I was at Skeem Saam and I did have a global contract. I was under a global contract, but hey man, life happened. Jiggy things changed, and it changed when because there were different levels to it. Like first the 2 million rich guys, no man, you guys must stay away from each other, but we can still go to work and whatever. And I think when it really hit the stricter restrictions, then it affected a lot of people, including myself. We got paid for the first couple of months of everything that was happening, and then after, things changed. So yeah, I don't think also there's provision for such a thing. That was the first time ever, something like COVID takes over. So I don't think, I've never looked at my contract to see, okay, if such supernatural things happen, like what's the rules behind it. Like I say, so it was a learning curve, man. It was a learning curve, to try and know if something like this again were to happen, where can I stand legally? You understand what I mean? So yeah, It's very complicated.
But it has also like challenged a lot of us young people to say, when we are doing well, we are earning a lot, you know, let's learn to save in days like this. So one, I know what every weekend we have to have fun, but let's save. You'll never know what tomorrow is going to happen.
No, give on.
Because like COVID, we thought it's only to be for a month.
And
Okay,
then,
we made part like okay, maybe 2 months, and then went to a year, another year, end up being a 3-year thing. You see.
Yeah, so yeah, like those are some of the lessons you could have learned from that period, obviously saving more, but also I think it also raised a lot of concerns of the structure of the industry, in itself. You need to understand that some people, as you know, we're not going to get into the greater details, but there are different contracts that actors are subjected to, like you're saying, you can get your global contracts, which is your more permanent contracts. You get call actors, you get second call actors. So sometimes it's not as easy to save, you understand, when you're in that position. I mean, if you're a call actor, you're basically living on the hope that you will get that call, and when you get that call, in Almabak. Already, you know what I mean? So I always see this discussion of people having on social media and say, yeah, but these people earn a lot of money, so why don't they save? Why don't they? And I say, sometimes it's important to talk about things that you know, and don't just speak of things that you don't know, because some people, it's possible for a production to call you 3-4 times in a month, and maybe they give you 10 scenes a day. That's about 40 scenes over that month. So you're shooting a lot, but you've only earned for 4 calls. One toll. And you've got bills to pay. You've got bills to pay. Where do you stay? What do you eat? Do you have children? Do you have a car? So where do you get the luxury of saving? Where do you get the luxury of medical aid? You know what I mean? So we'd all love to save. In an ideal world, everyone wants to have something that they can put aside for rainy days. But the real question is, the space that you're in, does it afford you that opportunity? Not a lot of people know that. So yeah, Vele, of course, you things like that you just raised, like saving, very important, but also it highlighted some of the loopholes that we face in our industry, and in the career that we're in.
Right now in my life, I'm at a period whereby I'm conflicted and contradicted and confused, because I love what I'm doing.
Yeah.
I love art. I do it effortlessly. It's something that I enjoy, I live by, I do every day. At the same time, I have realized already, when it comes to money, it's a big challenge. You can get a gig, you shoot for a month, and then you stay for 6 months, even a year, not getting a job. So like, I'm worried, how am I going to survive? How am I going to achieve my dreams? At times I wish like a course that will give me a 9 to 5.
Yeah.
At the same time, I was like, no, my father has been working 9 to 5 all his years, and this is my passion. So I'm at the period where I'm just confused.
Let me tell you something. So for people who don't know, we've been trying to make this interview happen for a long time, I get. And most of the times I was the one who was like, okay, wait, I can't make it this week. I can't. I've got something to do this week, and I'll tell you why. The reason why is because I'm at a period right now where I'm trying to find my way. Let me put it this way: I'm trying to not need entertainment. So I was always on the road. I'm always on the road. Trying to make a way for myself that's going to sustain me, because I've been in this industry since 2012. Started training in 2011, so properly in 2012. But I've seen that I'm going to have a problem here when I hit the age of 40, when I hit the age of 50. Um, this industry is it's you sort of need to find your footing outside of it, so that you do it for love and not hate it.
Mm.
I've interacted with a lot of great, amazing veterans who I look at their situation sometimes and I'm like, oh, this is sad,
Yeah.
you know. And these are amazing people, people you grew up watching.
Mm.
And I said, but this is not what I want for myself, you know. This is not what I deserve. Um, because I'm also at an age where now I'm thinking of starting a family,
Mm.
you know. I'm thinking of doing serious things, you know, starting a family, having children of my own, and you can't do that with so much uncertainty. So I hear what you're saying, and that's the reason why I've been quite hard to find, is because I'm trying to, you know, put my footprint in other places. Um, DJing has been amazing for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been amazing. I've met and traveled and met a lot of people across this country, and some of them I'm very close to. And banchalo refetu, yeah, rawona more entertainment. But zwakala lekai, you know, start your
Mm.
businesses, start your food businesses, get into supplies, work with government, you know, because
Mm.
where you're at right now, I understand it fully.
Yeah. Yeah.
I can. It's not something that I just think. I know exactly what you're saying,
Mm.
you know,
Yes.
and you've got a lot of thinking to do.
And
Yeah.
like doing corporate business, I mean, or maybe doing work with the government, it's
Mm,
it's it's pay, and
yeah.
it kind of like sustains you, because the more you keep gigging with them, the
Mm.
more you get exposed to more of them, and always they want you around.
Yeah, yeah. So again, man, like, you know, it's important to make those connections, because wacava mumzansi mfethu hosipani around.
Yeah.
It's about what about mang guy, you
Yeah, it
know.
doesn't matter how talented you
It
are,
doesn't matter how
where you
talented you
went to
are.
school. If you don't know anyone, go to
Ah,
like
when
a
you
clan.
sit with your talent.
Yeah.
Talent is yours, chief. It's not our talent. It's your talent. But you need to keep showing up.
Mm.
They need to see you. They need to see your face. You understand?
Yeah.
That's why even like this podcast is very important. They have to know your face. They have to see you, and you need to keep showing up
Mm.
until they say, "Ish, Eddie Manuela Pisa Jo,
Yeah. Yeah.
you know." And then once you do that, then you never let it go. You never let it go. They have to see you. There's money there, so we need to know how to unlock it. Most of the times as artists, we get stuck in just wanting to perform. You know, you want to be an actor, and that's it, because you're a thespian, uh, and that's your focus. You know what I mean? Or you want to be a musician, and that's all you're focused on,
Mm.
and that's fine. But you know, will it sustain you?
Yeah.
You know, will it sustain you? So that's why it's important also to have a team, you know, around you um that will support you, that will support your vision, that will carry your vision. You understand? So yeah, man, there's money out there, but you need to try and find it.
Which has like always known, or maybe clear to you, or at a young age you wanted to be in this space.
No. It's not, hey, not to be honest with you. The first thing that I was sure that I wanted to do was I wanted to play football. In fact,
Mm.
I wanted to play football. I remember the early years of my life really enjoying soccer.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I was a pretty good soccer player in my younger years. In fact, what people don't know is that for me to get into the industry, I wanted to be. So I saw, nah, here I'm not gonna end up playing soccer. So I wanted to be a sports presenter.
Mm.
You know, so that's what I was doing earlier on when I started training as a presenter. The focus was for me to do sports. You know, so I'd always loved sports. I played cricket and I played soccer, Koskila, and that's what I wanted to do. Things changed later on in high school. You know, when I did a Mr. and Miss Edenvale. That is the high school that I
Yeah.
did. There was a pageant that I did, Mr. and Miss Edenvale, and I came third in that pageant. And I realized, I like the stage, Yeah, that was the first time I realized that I like the stage. And maybe I could do something with that. But I can't say, I had 5 years, I was singing, or I was acting, I was dancing. So yeah, I wanted to do sports.
Gig you TV television.
Gig TV. So there was a lady called Anna, who sadly is passed on. Anna was the owner of On Cue Communications, which was in Randburg, and that's where I did my official training after high school. We trained in television and in radio, and then we had like the industry experts every Saturday coming and training us on various aspects of television presenting and radio. And from there, that course was only 6 months, 6 weeks, sorry. But after that course, you are industry ready. That's how intense it is. With the likes of Bonang Mateba also coming to lecture us on aspects of television presenting, the likes of Zizo Beta, the likes of Dennis Tau, these are people.
Hours a day?
I think it was a 3 or 4 hour course a day, but every Saturday. And then they also had their own facilities where you could come and train and harness your skill, So in fact, I think out of that whole group, I think nearly 14, out of that whole group, if I'm not mistaken, I was the only one, to get a TV presenting job. Well, at that time, I don't know now. So the next year, guy UJ, that's 2012. And while I was at UJ studying film and television, then Anna became my agent. She was like, dude, I want to sign you to my agency Interface. And then she sent me to the YoTV auditions, man. There's an opportunity to be a YoTV presenter. Would you like to do it? I was how old? I was 20 years at the time. It came many years after I thought it would happen, but it was still a blessing, and I went and I auditioned. There were quite a lot of people that auditioned. I think I was the second last to audition for it, and that's how it came about.
So now you are famous and you are still at UJ, right? You're presenting your TV. And how was life by then? How was life scale?
It was, look, and I've always not put pressure on myself. I've never put pressure on myself. Even now, I'm one of those people more industry. I don't put pressure on myself. So even back then, I've always had that mentality. So at that time, I was doing YoTV, but before that, I was go UJFM. So in my first year, before I got YoTV, I was already on campus radio. And I had my own, I was doing sports actually on the breakfast show, and I had my own house music show. And then YoTV came, so it was interesting. It was a challenge, man. It was a lot of work to do. Can you imagine? Get to Kempton Park. I need to catch a taxi to this side. I need to go to radio early in the morning, and then later go to APK for my classes, and then before the classes end, catch another taxi, go to Randburg, do the YoTV show. So it was hectic. It was hectic. I was busy in my earlier years, starting in the career, but it was nice. It was nice, man. You're 19, 20, and you're already working, more industry. You're meeting, young, vibrant people. So
what's a share of us?
Yeah.
No. Because now they know you're from campus radio, they know you're from YoTV.
Yeah, but also another thing that you need to realize is not as many people as you would think watched YoTV then. I think the more popular YoTV era was Wild Room, when Bosisi were there, Boshade were there. So this was a brand new YoTV that was coming in. Yeah. So I think it had been off air for a long time, and the SABC was trying to bring it back and revamp it, So not a lot of people were watching YoTV then. And also, it was the era when, men, things were booming now on social media. People were more into social media. There were new ways of enjoying content now. Your YouTubes were taking over. So I think it was a bit of a struggle to try and get the viewers back, to trust the program. So it wasn't as crazy as it was then when I was on Skeem Saam. That was a totally different beast. As opposed to UTV.
Before we get to Skeem Saam,
yeah. No, I'm just saying, yeah.
Yes, yes. While you were still at campus radio, I had Zola on Massive Metro when he was interviewing you. You guys used to terrorize him to say we want interview. Take me through that era, how you guys were getting interviews as students, right? You are reaching out to people like Zola, as a legend, man.
Yeah.
What was the approach by then?
I don't know what you mean when they say I used to terrorize him. No, man. Maybe I'm talking about other people.
Was just saying. Yeah. Was interviewing you was like I didn't use the word terrorize, but I was saying interview, and then in your own words you was like, no, we're not taking no for an answer.
No, man, we were like we were persistent, like I'm saying, man, we're young, we're vibrant, we're in your face. And UJFM had that thing, we can compete even with the likes of Y, and also Voice of Vids, you know what I mean? There was always that thing. So every campus radio station wanted the best artists, the most legendary artists, so I'm sure that we did give him a couple of headaches to say, hey, Khopela interview and whatever. But what became beautiful was that at a later stage, I ended up working with Zola at Massive Metro. Those are one of the radio stations I ended up going to, So from him interviewing me, I ended up working with Grootman, even though we're not on the same show, but just under the same umbrella, Massive Metro. Which was really beautiful for me. It was a complete 360. That was beautiful.
When you were at campus radio, did you understand or know what DJ Spoo is from campus radio also? Yeah.
I think there's a lot of examples and things that I understood about DJ Spoo, being from the same Kasi. I always followed his path and how he did things. And when we worked Koyo TV really too, he would always just encourage me to say, hey, as a Kasi, carry on, carry on pushing. And I used to listen to his YFM days, and I used to listen to how he used to say, or he used to bother people, for Oratlotsenada. So even on campus radio, I remember him saying that he was on campus radio and how they did things on Tola. So yeah, I knew quite a lot about DJ Spoo, and I tried to follow as much as I can in his, footprints. I'm really inspired by him. Even now, I continue to be inspired by him. And it shows that if you're persistent, man, then you'll make it. Yeah.
And now you are at your TV, doing your thing, campus radio, doing your thing.
Sure.
Gig ya Skeem Saam television.
Yeah, that one. Hey, that one was a life changer, man. Hey, that one was a life changer. That was a different beast altogether. So when we're at UTV, we're enjoying our time at UTV. Then one day, we get called to the office and they say to us that, guys, Skeem Saam is coming back as a soapy, and they're looking for someone who's going to be Rachel's brother.
Yeah, she's boy.
They're looking for someone, or maybe light skin who can look like Rachel. And at the time, I'm like, that's definitely not me.
Yeah. Until I don't have acting background.
I don't have an acting background. Okay, maybe we can say that light skin, what could work. But they were looking for Rachel's brother. And according to the storyline, Rachel's brother is from Tembisa. So that part I could resonate with, being someone who's on Tembisa. But everything else was just lights out. You know what I mean? I came from a a television presenting background. So we need you guys to audition for this role. And we auditioned. There were 4 of us, the boys who auditioned. And the top 2 was myself and Gift, who played Fanny afterwards.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And when they chose me, I was like, what? You know, what's going on here? But I mean, through the grace of God, man, through the grace of God, I was chosen, and I think I tried to embrace it as much as I could, you know. I tried to take it on, even though it was quite heavy, in the beginning. But I look back at what I did back then. Today, a lot of people appreciate and still ask for me back on the show. People are still wondering if it's well and I realize now how much of an impact that role had in my whole entire life. It was a massive, massive role. I'm still getting gigs from the fact that names are, it's hard for people to shake that name off, but it was one of those characters that don't worry. It's a once in a lifetime opportunity, man. It's a once in a lifetime opportunity. I mean, you look at the likes of Botibo, Sebo, Kwaito, Boleto. Those are huge characters, you know, as much as the guys are talented, but I truly believe if they go to other shows also and want to play other roles, it's going to be hard to shake off those names, those titles, the Mapizis, the Rachels, you know. So it was big for me. It was big. It was life-changing. It was awesome. It was heartbreaking. It was, a lot of lessons happened. Yeah.
Casting a coordinator by then, Bailey, Mr. Marongo.
Yes. That was also fun. Yeah, no more. I want to start to span more. I want to start to span acting because the acting wasn't there, bro. It wasn't there. But he helped me so much.
He trained you. Yeah. Before shooting.
He trained me. He also helped me in terms of Sepedi and understanding the script and how to say what, and because what people don't also understand is I had never been to Limpopo before Skeem Saam. Before I started on Skeem Saam, everything that I picked up was at Skeem Saam. But that's why I say I embraced the role, and the character, and I grew to love it so much. Right now, my favorite province, even though I love other provinces, but my favorite province to be at is Limpopo because of just how peaceful the place is. I've made so many friends there. If I could have an opportunity, I'd probably go live there forever. So it was a big moment in my life.
At the beginning of you starting to shoot your scenes at Skeem Saam, there were so many cuts, ne? Maybe like when it comes to language, right? But no, so we pronounce in this way, not that way. But no cut.
Look, I don't think it's as much as people would think, because one thing that you learn from live TV is you learn that you need to carry on. You need to be quick. You know what I mean? You need to be quick thinking. So the more of the disturbances that we had were more performance based than saying the wrong thing, because you need to understand that this character was coming from Tembisa, so it was okay if he was speaking Tsotita. That's what people also didn't understand at the time. Yes, the character Umuvecha Tef, but he spent 16 years go Tembisa, so people in Tembisa also have their own way, their own Tsotital way of speaking, so it was okay for the character not to speak Sepedi 8, you know what I mean? So it was more performance based disturbances that we had, but also that we fixed, because I catch on pretty fast, when it comes to things of like remembering things or taking instructions. So I don't think I was too much of a problem in that regard. Yeah.
One of my favorite era of Nimza on Skeem Saam was when he developed the game.
Okay, game.
That storyline was
Yeah.
very inspiring to young people. To say it doesn't matter who you are, your background is. If you want to do something, it doesn't matter if it has been done or not been
Sure.
done before. You can do it. And seeing him develop that game, although Obana Fane Elemoto advantage at the end, but for him to have that wisdom, that knowledge, develop the game, it was something else. I love that part.
Yeah, no, and I think with Skeem Saam, that's the make of the show, to inspire young people, to tell the stories of young people, to tell the mishaps that they can have, to tell the the inspiring stories that young people could have. I mean, who would have thought, or some random kid Tembisa from an orphanage could come up with an arcade game, even though at the end it turned out negative, and he used his intelligence in other ways to scam people and whatever. but it was an inspiring story, and I think somewhere, some out there, it spoke to a lot of young people, who were in the science and technology space, to say that you guys can develop things from scratch, and it would have been nice for him to go on and to sell that game to, a big company and make money and change his family's fortunes. But just as life is, different things happen. Angry. You can find that you've come up with something positive, but then you meet the wrong person, and that person changes your whole path, and it ends up being negative. So yeah, so it taught people different aspects of what can happen even when your mind is in the right place.
I think in the next season, if they want to bring Ninja fully on screen, I think the story writers and storyliners, they should go back to the original names, to say this young man is smart. He has to come up with something that he has established. Maybe he come up, he's trying to establish something, Abuelo or Marongwa Adule Mola, and think, okay, names that you have made mistakes in the past, you have made failures, what to do now, uh, the likes of Budiji Spoo, him coming to say, okay, I know I've developed a game before. What can I develop now, and succeed in it? Whether it's going to sell the company or it's going to continue managing the company, but something very, very, very strong, to inspire the youth. I would love that.
Did they tell you that maybe someone gave you a hint?
No.
Okay.
Hey, I don't know anything. There's something like that.
The way I don't know anything. It's just, I love the way you're saying it, and I love the way you're putting it, and I would hope that something like that could happen, because it's just as the same in life. You go through certain challenges, and you can fall as a person, you know what I mean? But what's important is how you come back. So something like that would be really nice to tell people out there, even if you have fallen in life, you never give up. It only becomes a problem if you give up. The fall is permanent and sticks with you if you give up. But if you come back, you understand, then it's a success story. It's a lesson. It's not a failure, So I would grab it with both hands if I was given that opportunity to do that again. And yeah, who knows?
Yeah, like something, because I might have like misconstrued how Skeem Saam works, or what is the purpose of Skeem Saam. But for me, so far, these are my own connotations and denotations. Skeem Saam, it's all about inspiring young people. When you look at the storyline of Kwaito, from the young age, he was smart. Okay, he has made his mistake with Tibos Babulaile Mutuka Koloi. It's fine. They learned their lesson, right? He has been a very smart young man. They took advantage of him, but he kept going. And now, when you look back at his storyline, it's like, this young man, he found love. He were a mess. He wrote books. They took advantage. Numpumelelo Mtian was there. He nearly died. Wabon. But now you look at him, he's a successful man. It's like Skeem Saam, you look back, it's like, this is very inspiring to young people. You can go through the fire, but if you are smart, you are smart. If you are gifted, if you are meant to be successful, doesn't matter what comes your way. You know, coming with a storyline like that to Nimza also, it balance like all the tumultuous, the turbulences of life that he went through to say, okay,
no, you're right. I mean, that's the story in essence, you know, following the lives of young people and the different challenges, you know what I mean, that they face, because all three of the main, call them the main boys, you know, which is Cat, Tivo, Kwaito, are successful now, you know. So I think that was a beautiful story, man. It was a beautiful story. It still is a beautiful story, even though I don't watch as much, but I can imagine that there's still a lot of lessons, you know, in Skeem Saam, and I think that's why it's favored so much by parents, because they can see their children in those characters. You know what I mean? I'm sure, you know, there are lessons to be learned from the likes of Bontswaki and Bopextine, whatever they're doing. You understand? So that's been it. And I think it's a story of hope also. To say, hore, no matter under what circumstances, if you come from a poor background, but still, you know, if waspana, you can make it. So I think that is the whole idea. And that's why South Africans love it so much. Yeah.
Storyline is so beautiful, you know. These young boys, village boys, they make it to university. Them they graduate. Even like supporting characters like Wally Shole. So you look at their storylines, like something dope here.
Then, I mean, he dreamt of being a pilot. He wanted to be a pilot, and he was always ridiculed to say, "How when a pilot, you got tough." Your
father can mechanic.
Your father can mechanic. You now you wanna be a pilot.
It's something that happens like daily.
You know. So finally, he got his. I don't know. I can't finally reach, but you understand. He was there
to be a pilot.
Exactly.
He managed to be a pilot.
He managed to be a pilot. So again, it comes back to say, no matter where you are, and that's why I want people who are even watching this to never ever lose sight of that. No matter where you are and what circumstances you grew up in, but you can make it. It's important to know that. And it's hard because not everyone is supposed to make it. You know, that's not how the world is designed. It's not designed for all of us to lead, for all of us to make it. Unfortunately, some people have to be at the bottom. That's just how life is. But you have the opportunity to make it and make your dreams valid and they come true. No matter if you're from the rurals, the townships, Skawara, as long as you stay on that dream and persist, you're gonna make it.
There were times I see now that it's the great actors on Skeem Saam, right? But the time which Skeem Saam was crazy. That was the time when Natasha Tahan were there. When MK were there.
Yeah, they came with another vibe, yo.
Amanda DuPont were there.
They came with another vibe. They're in varsity, Oros, Jama.
The time was crazy. Was crazy, man.
And it was highlighting things that were happening. You know, it was highlighting all the scandals that happened at varsities and on the parties that happen at varsities and
baby maker
and the fact that you can even die through alcohol. People didn't know that Jama died from alcohol poisoning, you know. So I think Skeem Saam covered a lot, man. It covered a lot, and I think that's why a lot of people resonated with it.
What are some of the memories that you guys made there with MK, like behind the scene, obviously as Skeem Saam cast?
Yeah.
Because I believe if you work with people in a certain production for a very long time, you develop that brotherhood, that sisterhood.
No, some you do. Some you do. Look, we were young at the time. I think most of us were between the ages of 20, 23, 20, 23, 24. So we were crazy. We had fun, bro. Like, the streets of Joburg know us. It was fun. They know us very well. They know us very well. You. Bram knows us, Marvel knows us, and those are things that live on forever. Even though sometimes you go on and you're not as close to certain people as you were, which is what happened in our case, but we really created some strong bonds. We went out a lot. I won't lie. We drank, we enjoyed ourselves, but we were always safe. Um, some were naughtier than others. Some were naughtier than others. Some were crazier than others. But it was a dope bond. Yeah.
When you go out, you're going out with Abu, Natasha, Amanda.
Yeah, she used to also join us from time to time.
Natasha's beautiful. Natasha.
Yeah, man. Nah, she's a stunning young lady. Even now, and I'm very proud of her. Yeah, hey. Yeah, wait, fuck, that beautiful. It's beautiful, yeah. It's beautiful. No, she's really, she's not
big time.
She's stunning, bro. Amanda Dupont, stunning. So yeah, we used to go out sometimes. But I mean, I'm very proud of what the ladies have done.
Yeah,
Natasha's totally still killing it right now with Netflix and all. So it just shows how big that show was. And that if
Blood
you do
and
things
water,
right,
she's doing
exactly,
well there.
exactly. But yeah, she's stunning. Yeah.
Do you maybe when you look back in retrospect, just like, although I was enjoying myself, but I wish I could have saved or maybe open a business.
Definitely, 100%. Even though I didn't see what was coming in terms of COVID, but when I look back, I think to myself, I was earning pretty good.
And you're not paying rent, you're staying at home.
Yeah, I was staying at home, but I decided to buy my first property very early on. I think I was 22 at the time when I bought my first property because, to be fair, we were getting paid well. You understand? And I was there for 7 years. So only after COVID or during COVID did I realize, oh snap, I could have taken another direction. Maybe I could have, get home a business that will sustain me if something happens. Because sometimes you don't think something will happen, especially something so catastrophic. So yeah, I definitely feel that I could have moved better. And I think that's why I said to you, like I said in the beginning, right now I'm busy trying to fix those decisions that I made back then. I'm trying to make sure that in the next 15 years to come, in the next 10 years to come, I'm not looking back and say 10 years ago I should have made a decision to start a business or whatever. So yeah.
It happens. At least it dawned early.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because them niggas right now, they're in their 40s, 50s. Man. It's like, really? Is this how you want to continue living your life?
You're right. Look, I feel like as South Africans in general, we're depressed. It's not easy being a young black man today in South Africa. There's a lot of pressure on you, especially now if you're gonna add in the mix, a family, if you're gonna add children in the mix. So there's a lot of pressure on you, and you get older guys right now who we really used to look up to, who are in their late 30s, who are in their 40s, but have fallen to be alcoholics or drug addicts because of they succumbed to the pressure and they feel like it's too late or it was too late, So I don't want to fall into that type of trap, because it's really sad and it's hard to come back if you feel like you've lost so many years in your life. So yeah, I'm trying to rectify those things.
It does happen. You get an opportunity like Skeem, Saam, you get well paid, but at times I have realized that in entertainment industry, you can get a gig, right? You shoot a film, a drama film, it's on whatever channel. Someone who's a legend who has been there for 30 years or maybe 20 years. For that whole movie, it's an hour, 1 hour and 20 minutes. You get that they get paid 10,000. Sit back or like, these are some of the things that I have seen. You get to sit back because like, okay, they are not going to work for the next 3 months. 10,000 king.
10,000.
Bond, like, and I just hope or like as time goes on, these people who are getting funding, they can think about how to pay fairly to the cast, because without the cast there is nothing.
There's no story.
The only thing they care about is buying these luxurious cars and underpay people. It's tough out here.
Yeah.
And these young people I sometimes I sound like I'm discouraging young people from studying arts. I always tell them, if guys, you have something that you are passionate about, something else, just study that thing. And then with art, you will always try to find your way in, but have a proper degree, Be a lawyer, be something, or try to open up a business. With art, you can always try to find your way in. It's tough.
I know. It is tough. It is tough. Yeah, and it goes back to our initial conversation. To say that the reason why I'm doing what I'm doing right now is because of that. It's something that I started noticing now. Early, right? More flop more. Yeah, flop. So yeah, what you're saying is 100% correct. It's disheartening to have to say to a young person, "Don't study arts." You know what I mean? Yeah, it's disheartening because now you won't be able to explain to them why. It's like how I tell people, no one can train you to be famous. No one can prepare you for fame. Because when you're famous now, people also expect a certain level of lifestyle.
Especially if you are playing a character on screen that is a successful person.
Yeah.
Ah, man.
Yeah, then you're gonna see flop or even more. But just in general, people have that perception already. Yeah, as long as you watch TV, no, you need to be, you know what I mean? You're getting the big bucks.
That's you could get
overseas more.
Overseas.
They could pay you 50K for a movie, and then your next gig is in 6 months.
And one thing I forgot to mention, on top of that 50K, on a little agent
on a little agent, on a little tax. You get taxed on that money. Don't forget.
Yeah.
You understand? So if you get something, you're 50K. Already your agent is taking 20%, between 15 and 20%. And then the government is also very, what was that, 20% each. Then what happens after that? You understand? So that's what people don't understand about this industry. And it's hard to advise someone to say, no, go and study acting, go and study camera operating. It's a challenge. It's a challenge. And now I'm an honest person. So it breaks my heart every time I have to tell someone, find something, you know what I mean? Find a mentor in the industry. But if you wanna go and do it for 3-4 years and then still give your whole life to it, just be prepared. Yeah.
Gig your champions.
Yeah, champions. Yeah, Ash. Look, I mean, I'd been off screen for quite a while, and my agent said there's a new show coming up. It's a football show. I was really excited because I'm someone who ski. And I went to go and audition, man. I went to go and audition. Initially, my character was only supposed to be, I think, 5 calls or something like that. You know, and I think they liked what they saw and they just carried on growing the character. And I think people will see the character growing even more, right up until the end of Champions. So yeah, that was also a very nice experience. A great cast.
Yeah.
Amazing cast. That is Lomake,
Sipumpe.
yeah, Bratumi Show, Joanne, lots of them, you know. Butembi Nkosi, Mtetwa, so killer cast, amazing people, man. Amazing people, also amazing new talent also came through. It's unfortunate that it didn't last as long as we thought it would, but you know, it was a nice era.
Do you think South Africans are ready for that kind of storylining? The soccer path?
Yeah, it's a story. I mean, soccer is a huge part of our identity as South Africans. And there's been others before that have come through, Zone 14. Those looked at stories related to football, but in a Gasi setting, you know. No one in South Africa, I don't think anyone in South Africa doesn't enjoy soccer, doesn't enjoy when Bafana wins. I think it's in the execution of how you tell the story, because South Africans know so much about football, you know. I mean, in 96 when we won AFCON, it was a huge thing. It was a huge thing for all South Africans. 2020 when we host 2010, sorry, when we hosted the World Cup, it was a huge thing for South Africans. And for too,
now rugby.
Yeah, rugby, but you know, there's young kids, Kokasi, who play football, Budi One Pala, you know, who wanna be big soccer stars. This December games, every single December, every single Easter, you know, it's part of our upbringing, it's part of our identity. So there's definitely a space for that. It's just maybe the execution could have been a bit better in how it was done, but definitely soccer is a huge thing to talk about.
When is it ending?
If I'm not mistaken, end of Jan. Yeah, end of Jan 2025.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Still around.
It's still around. It's still around, man. Hey, we shot that season real quick. We shot that season real quick. Yeah, but hey, it just shows the professionals that we're working with, man. Like, yo, it was non-stop pressure. But we managed to get through it, and the show is still around.
And like, one thing I compliment the Champions as the production part.
Crazy.
Then you look at the locations, the costume,
crazy,
furniture, the props, everything. Like, it's just so.
Yeah, I think that's one thing that the production company doesn't compromise on. Cheza Pictures has high quality when it comes to, you know, how everything looks visually and the amazing cast that they have. So Mole tops number one.
Yeah. That's it. And music, you decided to go to music.
Yeah.
You have been there in music, right?
Yeah.
Before Skeem Saam.
So I get everything started on UJFM. That's where I did my own house music show. Interviewed quite a lot of guests there who were very inspiring. The likes of Glenn Lewis, the likes of DJ Fresh. And that's where the interest for it started. You know,
I want an interview with DJ Fresh.
Hey, for real, yeah, man. But back in the day, like back when I was at UJFM, I mean, us we used to get our interviews.
Yeah, and at that time, DJ Fresh was booming.
Man, come on, the big dog, you know. So yeah, I started there, and then 2017 I started practicing how to play. There's a friend of mine called Theology who's doing really well right now. Um, I think he works for Coffee in Midrand. He's doing really, really well. He's the first person that taught me how to DJ.
Mm.
And then I went to Pioneer DJ School, carried on learning there. And then Lebza the Villain also taught me how to DJ. And then I bought my own CDJs, CDJ 350s, DJ M450, and I started practicing at home, harnessing my skill. Went to Pioneer DJ School. I've got a certificate for DJ, you know. So yeah, man. So that was the whole training part of it, and it's been a big thing ever since for me, man. DJing has kept me alive.
And now you are not only DJing, you're also making music.
The young boys that I'm working with, Kadzin and Mr. Ghetto Dreams, you know, two very young, talented guys who approached me and said, "Listen, we would like for you to help us, you know, find a footprint in the industry." So I was like, "Nah, that's fine," you know. So they make the music side of things, even though I'd like to learn, but they make the music side of things, and we're releasing music. But like I say, for me, I want to learn and I want to have a record label, you know. So yeah, those are the boys I'm working with, and there's more music that's still coming out. So people must just watch out for that.
Did you format it? It's fine. If it's so far you do have songs like that are out.
Yeah.
Where do you find them?
We do have songs that are out. I think if people want to get the songs, you can just follow me, man, on social media, Buhle Maseko, and then I'll just, all the links are there because it's available on all social media, on all digital streaming platforms. And yeah, there's an album that's out called Take It Easy. It's a very nice, chilled amapiano, instrumental, you know, offering. So
when are we shooting the music video?
You like music video, Matt. I like your relax. I like music video, but there's more that are coming, especially now towards November and December, that we are going to release, and those will have music videos. We're gonna shoot.
And like, if people want to book you to maybe for a guest speaker at an event, for you to be a DJ, how do they reach out to you?
So you can just go into my social media platforms across the board. It's Buhle Maseko, and all the details are there. I usually deal with working via email. So if you send me an email just explaining what exactly you want me for, then I'll get back to you and then we can talk. Yeah.
Let's get that money. Let's get those
Let's get that money, man.
It's festive season now. Anything that you have planned in terms of music?
Yeah, there's projects that we're gonna release, music wise, with Mr. Ghetto Dreams and Katsin, and people should look out for that. And it's gonna be an interesting one. I'm gonna be on the road everywhere, you know. So if people follow me on social media, they'll just catch everything there.
Yeah, man. Just take it easy.
Yeah, I think yeah, you know, we should have the DJ. Okay, I try to search for it. Yeah, no, these boys are very talented, man. These boys are very talented. What's another cabs? They're always working. Yeah, there you go. Well, yeah, man. Yeah, I need music.
Okay, yeah. Better
Yeah, this one is not for. It doesn't have dance challenges. Dance challenge. This one is for.
But Mapian right now sells a lot. Are you considering in this December project considering to have like a few Mapian songs?
This isn't our piano project, but it's a instrumental.
Yeah.
It's more private, instrumental Amapiano. So we are looking to do a commercially viable song. But again, I told the guys, well, don't try and push anything that's not coming out. Like, do things according to how you feel, because you'll want to come up with a trending song and then the next thing it sucks. And now I'm not gonna put my name on anything that I don't resonate with. So if it happens, it happens. But if not, then we'll take out things like this. There's a market for such stuff. Yeah.
I want to say something, but I will say it off camera. It's fine. It's fine.
Sure.
Now, I would thank you so much for making time to come here. I don't take this lightly. There's a lot that you could be doing, but you chose to come and sit with me. And saying that, I really appreciate your time.
Nah, thank you so much, man. And shout out to you and the podcast, and may you guys carry on growing. Next time when we have this conversation, again, because I'm hoping we have another conversation.
We will.
Then let's talk from a place of having moved forward and having made a difference. Yeah.